So NoSQL. So basically document, column, key value and graph. Okay. So column wise lo malli em nerchukunnam manamu Cassandra, and there is another database called as HBase. Okay, Cassandra and HBase. So Cassandra is nothing but combination of multiple nodes. Cassandra is nothing but combination of multiple nodes. Each node communicate with some communication channel, so called as gossiping. Called as gossiping. And all the nodes are available in the data channel. Okay, all nodes are available in the so channel called as ring. Okay, so data center, right? ఓకే, మీరు కామ్గా ఉంటే నేను మాట్లాడేది క్లారిటీగా వస్తుంది. మీరు మాట్లాడితే ఇంకా కన్ఫ్యూజన్. Cassandra, Apache, Cassandra. So it is an open source and distributed NoSQL database software. So it is a collection of nodes. It is a collection of nodes. And so this Cassandra is useful for storage big amount of or large amount of data. So it is a collection of nodes and each node communicate with communication channel is called as gossiping. And all the nodes are available in the data center. The data center is called as ring. So we have the replicas, means duplicate or proxy servers we will use. The entire data is not going to store in single place. Instead of single place, it is going to store in replicas. So you can mention that. So factor called as RF factor, we call it as replica factor. So if you mention 3, so in the first server, so original data will be stored and remaining servers are replica data. And coming to the HBase, so HBase is also a column wide database. It is also a like a distributed NoSQL data structure or database. And when you observe the architecture, so HBase is completely depends on the Hadoop file system. So HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system. So HBase is completely depends on HDFS. So this HDFS actually store the data. This HDFS actually store the data. And on behalf of the HDFS, we have the regional servers. These servers are responsible to perform the operation like read, write, update, delete. So these are the operations responsibilities regional server. The regional servers are maintained by the masters. These servers are maintained by the master. We call it as H master, and the master and the servers are maintained by the Joe keeper. So this is the structure of the HBase. And after that we have seen some queries here. We have seen some queries. So first we need to install the Java software. After installing the Java software, we have to install and download and install the HBase. And after installing both, so you have to configure, and after configure, you have to connect with the HBase by using HShell command. What is the command? HBase shell command we have to use. By using that command, you can communicate with HBase. And after communicating with, you can create the table. So while creating the table, you have to specify the table name and along with the column family. So table name within the single quote, create table and followed by the column family. So in the last example, we have seen that A, B, C column family with the values value 1, value 2, value 3. Okay, so HBase, so Apache HBase. right? So HBase shell, HBase shell. So then you can connect with the HBase server, database server, and after that you can create the table. You can create the table with the create command, create table name and followed by the column family. So in order to find out which table is created, in order to find out the table is created, we use list keyword and we have the describe keyword also. We have the describe keyword also. List is used to find out the table structure and describe is used to find out the details and configuration and you can use put keyword or command to store the data or write the data into the database. So write the data, store the data into the database and after that we have the scan keyword. So scan keyword is used to retrieve the data, that is nothing but read the data. That is nothing but read the data. And you can also read or get a single column, that is nothing but so get keyword, that is nothing but get keyword. Okay. Okay, you can delete the table by using drop. You can delete the table by using drop. Okay, so these are called as some queries we use. Some queries we use. That language is called as HBase cell language. HBase cell language. So what are the keywords? Okay. So observe here, boys. So what is the difference between HBase and Cassandra? So both are supporting column family niche. Both are supporting column family niche. The Cassandra follows what structure, what theory? So CAP theory lo em follow avutadi? AP, availability and partition. So consistency కాదు కాబట్టి మనం ఏం యూజ్ చేస్తాము? సో Cassandra కి only for write, only for storing, not retrieving. సో retrieving లో ఏమైతుంది? ప్రాబ్లం ఏమైతుంది? సో ఇన్కన్సిస్టెన్సీ రిజల్ట్ వచ్చే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి. సో అందుకే సో రీడ్ ఎక్కువ ఆపరేషన్స్ ఉన్న దాంట్లో కసాండ్రా యూజ్ చేయము. సో మీరు హెచ్బేస్ చూస్తే సో హెచ్బేస్ ఈస్ యూజ్డ్ టు స్టోర్ ఆర్ రీడ్ సో బిగ్ డేటా ఆర్ లాగ్స్. ఇక్కడ బిగ్ డేటా అని ఎందుకు వచ్చింది అంటే సో హెచ్బేస్ ఈస్ కంప్లీట్లీ డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ Hadoop distributed file system. HBase is completely depends on Hadoop distributed file system. So if I want to store a big data, so mandatory we need to use a Hadoop service. If I want to store the big data, mandatory we need to use the Hadoop distributed file system. So that is the reason why. So HBase is one of the way to communicate with the Hadoop distributed file system. HBase is one of the way. So what we need to do again, like whatever we do with the Hadoop, the same thing we can do with the HBase. The same thing we can do with the HBase. So Cassandra is useful to store the, manage the huge amount of data, and HBase is useful to store the big data. So store the big data and some amount of time you can store the logs also. You can store the logs also. So when you want to store, only Cassandra will use. When you analyze the data, when you work with the data, so we'll go for HBase. We'll go for HBase. And coming to the so remaining types we will discuss later. So Redux and Neo4j. So concentrate on the HBase. What are the queries we can use? What are the queries we can use? What are the queries you can use? You can use create, you can use put, you can use scan, you can use drop, okay? You can use list, you can use describe, you can use describe. So note down the commands, note down the commands. The first command, first heading, procedure to work with HBase. 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 Step 1. Step 1. Install Java. Install Java JDK. Install Java JDK. Next. Next. Download HBase software. Step 2. First step, download the Java software. Second, download the HBase software. Download Java software. Download HBase software. Step 3, extract downloaded jar file. Sorry, downloaded the file. Extract downloaded file. Extract the downloaded file. Extract the downloaded file. Extract the downloaded file. Okay, when you download and extract, you will get a folder called as HBase some version alpha snapshot. So this is a folder you will get after extracting the software. This is the folder you will get after extracting the software. So you have to move to the directory. You have to move to the directory. So take this command. Take this command. CD space HBase some version and alpha. When you get this folder after downloading and extract the software, you will get this folder. You have to move to that folder. We have to move to that folder for that CD command. We will use so move to after moving it. After moving it, you have to set the path of the Java. You have to set the path of the Java. You have to set the path of the Java. Next, connect to HBase. Connect to HBase. Connect to HBase. Connect to HBase. Take this command. Take this command. So dot bin HBase cell, or you can take this HBase cell. HBase cell. So when you encounter this command, so it will give the output like this. It will give the output like this. So HBase may some time or some fraction of seconds it will give. So that indicates HBase is connected successfully. That indicates HBase is connected successfully. And after that, we will use the shell script. We will use the shell script. What is this script for? Creating the table. So take this command, create test CF. Create test CF. Create test CF. Mention that testing is a table name and CF is a column family. And CF is a column family. Test is a table name and CF is a column family. Okay. So this command is used to create a table. This command is used to create a table. After creating the table, you can list out the table. You can list the table which is created by using list command. In order to view the table which is created, we will use the list command. List followed by table name. List followed by table name. So this keyword is used to list out the table which is already created. List out the table which is created, the table. Next, describe table name. Describe table name. So what is the use of this command? So it will describe the entire table with all the details and configuration. So describe command used to describe command is used to see the all the details and configuration. All the details and configuration details. Okay. Next, how to insert the data into the HBase by using put keyword. So take this command. So put. Okay. So this is the command we will use for storing the data. So here, this is the command. Here, this is the command to write. So what is the meaning of write? Storing. What is the meaning of command? So write. So nothing but storing. So this is table name. This is table name. This is table name. And this is indicates. So row 1 we are inserting. So we are inserting in first row. We are inserting in first row. Inserting in first row, and CFA, it is a key, it is a key, it is a column family key, and value 1 is equal to column family value, and column family value. Okay, so this is the key we need to use for storing the data. This is the key we need to use for storing the data into the HBase software. We use put, and the specific one, the row will be specific. After key and value. So here k is the key and value 1 is the value, and value 1 is the. So next, so the key and value is column family. Key and value is column family. So the combining these two, we call it as column fam. Column fam. Column fam. Next, retrieve the data. Retrieve the data from table by using scan. So scan test. Scan test. Scan test to read the data from the HBase. 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 So it will retrieve all the records. It will retrieve all the columns. Retrieves all or read all. Read or column family. Read or column family. Read all column family. Next, read a single column. Read a single column by using get. By using get. So get will read only a single column. Get will read only single column. Read a single column. Read single column family. Read single family. Read single family. Okay. So what is the difference between scan and get? Scan will read all the families and get will return only single family. What is the difference between list and describe? List will give only the structure of the table, whereas details describe will give the inside configuration. Inside configuration. So this is I in order to delete the table. In order to delete the table, we use drop. We use drop. So drop table, drop test. Drop table, drop test. And we can disable and we can enable by using two keywords called as disable and enable. Disable and enable. So drop, disable, enable and drop. Right. So HBase is completely depends on HDFS. What is HDFS? Hadoop Distributed File System. So Hadoop Distributed File System is nothing but, so it is a storage space. It is a storage space. It contains two parts, name node and data. It contains what? name node and data node. What is the name node? The name node is responsible for maintaining the file system metadata. So name node is used to maintain the metadata about the file system. How? What are the output parameters? And how we can store what is the patterns you need to follow. So entire information is available as part of the name. And coming to the data node, so it is actually store the data. It is actually store the data in the HDFS blocks. In the HDFS blocks. The meaning is HDFS uses some blocks to store the data. HDMS uses some blocks to store the data. So these blocks are associated with the name node. So we have two things, name node and data node. So name node contains the information. Name node contains the information. We call it as metadata. We call it as metadata. And data node, the data node is nothing but so responsible to store the data into the HDFS blocks. Store the HDFS blocks. And coming to region servers. Coming to region servers. Okay. So we have two things, name node and data node. The data node actually contains the data. Okay. About the data is nothing but a metadata that is available in the name node. Actual గా data ఎక్కడ ఉంది మనకి data node. So ఇక్కడ సింపుల్ గా చూడండి, H region server is the region server implementation. Region server implementation. It is responsible for serving and managing region in a distributed cluster. In a distributed cluster. So region servers runs on data node. Region servers runs on data node. సో ఇక్కడ చెప్పుకుంటే నేమ్స్ మీరు చూడడానికి చాలా సిమిలర్ గా ఉంటాయి. నేమ్స్ చూడడానికి చాలా సిమిలర్ గా ఉంటాయి. ఇక్కడ చూడండి, region server is different, data node is different, H region server is different. Okay. H region server and region server is not same. Okay. So what is data node? Data node is nothing but HDFS. Data node is nothing but HDFS, where we have the data. On top of this data node, on top of this data node, we have the region server. We have the region server. So region server is not sufficient. Region server is not sufficient to H region server. We use H region server. Then what is the difference between region server and H region server? So region server is like interface. Is like interface. So where we'll have the unique format. Where we have the unique format. So this region server we can implement in any other way. We can implement in any other way. Simple example గా మీకు చెప్పాలంటే, సో ఏటీఎం కార్డు ఉందా మనది? ఏటీఎం కార్డు ఉందా? సో ఏటీఎం మిషన్స్ ఉన్నాయా? సో ఏటీఎం మిషన్స్ లో ఏ ఏటీఎం అయినా పనిచేస్తుందా? ఏ ఏటీఎం కార్డ్ అయినా పాసిబుల్ అవుతుంది. ఎలా పనిచేస్తుంది? ఓకే. సో ఇప్పుడు మనము ఎస్బీఐ ఏటీఎంకి వెళ్ళాం అనుకుందాం. దాంట్లో ఎస్బీఐ కార్డ్స్ పనిచేస్తాయి, హెచ్డిఎఫ్సి బ్యాంక్స్ కార్డ్స్ పనిచేస్తాయి, ఐసిఐసిఐ బ్యాంక్ పనిచేస్తుంది. సో ఇంకా ఏ బ్యాంక్ ఉన్నా బ్యాంక్ కార్డ్స్ అనేవి పనిచేస్తుంది. బట్ SBI ATM machine is different cards. Okay. ATM machines works on interfaces. ATM machines works on interfaces. And ATM cards will works on implementation. ATM cards will work on implementation. అంటే ఇంటర్ఫేస్ లో స్ట్రక్చర్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ స్ట్రక్చర్ ని ఫాలో అయ్యి కోడ్ ఎవరు రాస్తారు? ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తారు అనమాట. సో ఇక్కడ మీరు సర్వర్ and H region server is the region server implementation. H region server is the implementation. So actual code and actual will be on the region server only. So region interface and H region server is the implementation. So that region server is work on the on top of the HDFS data node. HDFS data node and region servers are maintained by the master. Maintained by the master. So ఇక్కడ మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే ఏముంది ఇక్కడ ఇంటర్ఫేస్. అండ్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ తర్వాత మనకి ఏముంటది ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ తర్వాత ఏముంటది మనకి implementation. So after interface we have the implementation. Right. Next, same procedure is the implementation of master. So is different. H master is different. So master is an interface. Master is an interface. To this interface, H master is the implementation, and it is responsible for monitoring all region server objects or instances. Objects or instances in the cluster. In the cluster. That means in the HBase database, in the HBase data server, we have couple of clusters. We have next region servers. So this master is nothing but superior. This master is nothing but within the specified and we have the zookeeper. And we have the zookeeper. The zookeeper is nothing but it like a superior to all the masters. It is superior to all the master. So which cluster should be activated and which cluster should be isolated? So that will be decided by the zookeeper. That will be decided by the zookeeper. So zookeeper is the superior to all the clusters. So మీరు ఇక్కడ అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే సింపుల్ గా ఏముంది ఇక్కడ సో మాస్టర్ స్లేవ్ ఇక్కడ మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే ఏంటి ఇక్కడ మాస్టర్ స్లేవ్ అంటే ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఎలా ఉంది మనకి సో వీ హ్యావ్ ది హెచ్డిఎఫ్ఎస్ పైన మనకి ఏమున్నాయి రీజియన్స్ లో మనకి ఏమున్నాయి క్లస్టర్ ఉంది క్లస్టర్స్ లో మాస్టర్ సో ఇక్కడ హెచ్ బైస్ అనేది కంప్లీట్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ మాస్టర్ స్లేవ్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అంట మాస్టర్ స్లేవ్ అంటే సో ఎవ్రీ సర్వీస్ డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ ది మాస్టర్ every service depends on the coming to the Cassandra. So Cassandra ఎలా ఉంటది it's a combination of multiple nodes. It is a combination of multiple nodes. So ఒక నోడ్ పని చేయకపోయినా ఆటోమేటిక్ గా మనకు వచ్చేస్తుంది డేటా సో ఇక్కడ నోట్స్ ని మనం ఏమంటాము అంటే పీర్ టు పీర్ మెకానిజం అంటాం నోట్స్ ని మనం ఏమంటాము పీర్ టు పీర్ మెకానిజం సో ద డిఫరెన్సెస్ బిట్వీన్ కసాండ్రా అండ్ హెచ్బేస్ సో చూస్తే రెండు కూడా కాలం ఫ్యామిలీ నేచర్ ఉన్న డేటాబేస్ అండ్ ఒకటేంటి సో కన్సిస్టెన్సీ వైజ్ గా సో హెచ్బేస్ అనేది స్ట్రాంగ్ గా ఉంటది వేరాజ్ కసాండ్రా అనేది tunable so we can modify if required so based on the requirement we can modify but by default the nature enti ap availability and partition tolerance but hbase anedi strong what is this CP model. What is the CP model? Consistency and partition. ఇక్కడ అవైలబిలిటీ ఉందా? అవైలబిలిటీ అనేది లేదు. సో అవైలబిలిటీ లేదు కాబట్టి మనం ఏం చేస్తాము? సో యూ కెన్ యూస్ దిస్ HBase for the like backend transaction. You can use the HBase for the backend transaction. ఇక్కడ కన్సిస్టెన్సీ ఉంది కాబట్టి సో ప్రాబ్లం ఏమి ఉండదు. డేటా మేబీ డిలే అవుతుంది బట్ 100% అక్యురేట్ గా ఉంటుంది. ఇక్కడ డేటా అనేది అక్యురేట్ గా ఉంటుందా? అండ్ బెస్ట్ ఫర్ బిగ్ డేటా అండ్ logs. Why? Because we are using the Hadoop kabatti. So when we have a requirement to store and analyze HBase, when we'll use Cassandra, so when we have the huge amount of data to be stored, that is nothing but write. When we have the high write, we will go for Cassandra and HBase query language మనం ఏం యూజ్ చేస్తాము? HBase queries లో ఏం యూజ్ చేస్తాము? So we'll use cell keywords like create, list, దాని తర్వాత describe, దాని తర్వాత put, దాని తర్వాత drop, దాని తర్వాత enable, disable, get. So all these queries we will use as part of this query language. And coming to the peer-to-peer Cassandra, we will use CQL. CQL means Cassandra query language. Cassandra query language. We will see the queries. So ఇప్పుడు మనకు డయాగ్రామ్ అర్థమైపోయిందా? సో ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అర్థమైపోయిందా? సో ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఏంటి? HDFS, that is Hadoop distributed file system. On top of the Hadoop distributed system, we have the region server. These region servers are maintained by the master server. So we will call this entire master and regions as a cluster. So each cluster will have the master and all masters are maintained by the zookeeper. So unconditionally it is a మాస్టర్ స్లేవ్. సో మాస్టర్ ఏది చెప్తే అది వినాలి, అంతే అది వినాలి. సో అందుకే HBase ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఏమంటాం? మాస్టర్ స్లేవ్. కసాండ్రాలో ఏమున్నాయి? మల్టిపుల్ నోడ్స్ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి సో పీర్ టు పీర్ కనెక్షన్, నోడ్ టు నోడ్ కనెక్షన్. సో వీ కనెక్ట్ యాస్ ఏ పీర్ టు పీర్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అంటాం. ఏం ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అంటాం? పీర్ టు పీర్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అంటాం. ఓకే, సింపుల్. సో ఇక్కడ చూడండి, the features and use cases. The features and use cases of column family data model. Features and use cases of column family data model. So this is the data, and this is row key and personal family and contact family. So we will consider personal data and contact data. In the contact, we use email. You can also use mobile. So comes under contact. Here they are used two things, name and age. So name and age are considered as personal family group. So this type of data we call it as column family data. This type of data is called as column family data. So ఇందాక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లో మీరు చూస్తున్నారు, లైక్ ఏ దానికి మనం